The tradition assumes that one can put questions to the I Ching and expect to receive intelligent answers. Thus it occurred to me that it might interest the uninitiated reader to see the I Ching at work. For this purpose, I made an experiment, strictly in accordance with the Chinese conception. I personified the book in a sense, asking its judgment about its present situation. My intention to present it to the Western mind. In accordance with which my question was phrased, the text of the hexagram must be regarded as though the I Ching itself were the speaking person. Thus, it describes itself as a cauldron, a ritual vessel containing cooked food. Food is understood as spiritual nourishment. The Ting, as a utensil pertaining to refined civilization, suggests the fostering and nourishing of able men, which redounded to the benefit of the state. Here we see civilization as it reaches its culmination in religion. The Ting serves in offering sacrifice to God. The supreme revelation of God appears in prophets and holy men. To venerate them is true veneration of God. The will of God, as revealed through them, should be accepted with humility. Keeping our hypothesis, we must conclude that the I Ching here is testifying concerning itself. When any of the lines of a given hexagram have the value of 6 or 9, it means they are especially emphasized in the interpretation. 9. The spiritual agencies in the hexagram have given the emphasis of a 9 in the lines in the second and in the third place. The text says, 9 in the second place means there is food in the Ting. My comrades are envious, but they cannot harm me. Good fortune. Thus the I Ching says of itself, I contain spiritual nourishment. Since a share in something great always arouses envy, the chorus of the envious is part of the picture. The envious want to rob the I Ching of its great possession. That is, they seek to rob it of meaning or to destroy its meaning. But their enmity is in vain. Its richness of meaning is assured. That is, it is convinced of its positive achievements, which no one can take away. The text continues. 9 in the third place means the handle of the Ting is altered. One is impeded in his way of life. The fat of the pheasant is not eaten. Once rain falls, remorse is spent. Good fortune comes in the end. The handle is part of, and it's called griff, like a griffin, like the bird thingies, which is part by which the Ting can be grasped. Thus, it signifies the concept one has of the I Ching. In the course of time, this concept has apparently changed, so that today we can no longer grasp the I Ching. Thus, one is impeded in his way of life. We are no longer supported by the wise counsel and deep insight of the oracle. Therefore, we no longer find our way through the mazes of fate and the obscurities of our own natures. The fat of the pheasant, that is, the best and richest part of a good dish, is no longer eaten. But when the thirsty earth finally receives rain again, that is, when this state of want has been overcome, remorse, that is, sorrow over the loss of wisdom, is ended. And then comes the longed-for opportunity. Wilhelm comments, this describes a man who, in a highly evolved civilization, finds himself in a place where no one notices or recognizes him. This is a severe block to his effectiveness. The I Ching is complaining, as it were, that its excellent qualities go unrecognized and hence lie fallow. It comforts itself with the hope that it is about to regain recognition. The answer given in these 2 salient lines to the question I put to the I Ching requires no particular subtlety of interpretation. No artifices, no unusual knowledge. Anyone with a little common sense can understand the meaning of the answer. It is the answer of one who has a good opinion of himself, but whose value is neither generally recognized nor even widely known, the answering subject has an interesting notion of itself. It looks upon itself as a vessel in which sacrificial offerings are brought to the gods, ritual food for their nourishment. It conceives of itself as a cult utensil, serving to provide spiritual nourishment for the unconscious elements or forces, spiritual agencies, that have been projected as gods. In other words, to give these forces the attention they need in order to play their part in the life of the individual. Indeed, this is the original meaning of the word religio, a careful observation and taking account of. The numinous. The method of the I Ching does indeed take into account the hidden individual quality in things and men, and in one's own unconscious self as well. I have questioned the I Ching as one questions a person whom one is about to introduce to friends. One asks whether or not it will be agreeable to him. In answer, the I Ching tells me of its religious significance, of the fact that at present it is unknown and misjudged, of its hope of being restored to a place of honor. This last, obviously, with a sidelong glance at my as yet unwritten foreword, and above all, at the English translation. This means a perfectly understandable reaction, such as one could expect also from a person in a similar situation.